Hey guys, this is Commander Matthew, and before we start this episode of Trek Back Tuesday, I want to tell you about my Star Trek podcast. Trek Untold is a weekly interview series where we chat with character actors, stunt performers, writers, directors, and behind-the-scenes people who make the Star Trek universe go at warp speed. Our show is about putting the spotlight on folks who aren't normally in the spotlight. It's about the people who have contributed to Star Trek but aren't in the opening credits of the show. You might not know their names or recognize their faces at first, but I guarantee after you hear our discussions with them, you're going to never forget them again. If you're a fan of not only Star Trek history, but also cinema and television, as well as the entertainment industry and all sorts of other things, you're going to really enjoy hearing this podcast. We're not just discussing appearances on TV shows with these actors, we're discussing acting theory, or we're talking to prop makers and behind-the-scenes crew, and discussing how things work that we don't ever see on camera. Each episode is a deep dive into the profession of what these folks do, and you're going to really enjoy hearing their stories. You can check it out on whatever Apple device you're using, whether it's a phone or a pad, or you can listen to it on your favorite Android device. If you want to learn more about Trek Untold, make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And it's available on most major podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and many more. Check us out this coming Thursday for our latest episode, and until then, fortune favors the bold.
Hi, I'm Captain Andrea.
This is Commander Matthew.
And this is Trek Back Tuesday.
Trek Back Tuesday is the show that explores time and space to seek out new and old Trek merchandise from across the galaxy.
And today we have a very special set of figures to look at.
That's right, today we're looking at all three of the figures from Playmates based on the classic episode City on the Edge of Forever.
Wasn't that the award-winning City on the Edge of Forever?
Yes, the episode written by Harlan Ellison. It is one of the more beloved Season 1 episodes, if not one of the most beloved of the original series. It's a great episode. It still holds up. I just watched it again, in fact, for this episode, so it really holds up.
It really does. It's a beautiful episode.
And Playmates did a few different things to commemorate that episode. I believe there were some larger scale figures with these outfits, but today we're looking at just the normal scale for these figures here. And so what's interesting to note is that Edith Keeler actually came out first. I'm
not surprised.
I kind of am, actually, because she was in Warp Factor Series 3, whereas Kirk and Spock were 2 lines later.
Yeah, but there were plenty of Kirk and Spock figures already out, so it would make sense to pick a character that didn't have a figure to go first, and then see what the interest is, because Edith Keeler apparently has a very... She has a fan base. You know, I didn't even realize this until I started doing a little bit more research, recently, and yeah, she has a fan base. So I'd rather see her than the same old Kirk and Spock, even though their outfits are different.
I mean, yeah, these are pretty unique looking Kirk and Spocks, to be quite fair.
No, absolutely, but at the same time, we've seen Kirk and Spock before.
There's not that many action figures of Joan Collins.
Exactly, I mean, love to ask her about that.
I would also like to know what she thinks about this figure. Does she have it in her home somewhere?
She has to have it in her home.
I don't know, it's a pretty unique piece.
I want to know what Joan Collins thinks about having her own action figure.
Is she on Twitter?
She might be.
Let's find out.
Okay.
Let's ask her later. So this is the packaging for the Warp Factor series. It's notable for having this big old swoop across the side. It's quite a swoop there.
It's a nice little decorative swoop.
It is, yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the larger Diamond Select packaging.
Kind of does, but to be fair, I think it's because there is a lot in these toys, too. I mean,
oh,
there's a lot of accessories in the Warp Factor figures.
Which I really appreciate.
Yeah. I'll show you guys the back of the boxes as well now. Which, again, just kind of has who else is in each of their respective lines, as well as a look at their accessories.
And they also come with bios. Now, ordinarily we just completely skip over them and we just say, oh, they have a bio. But these are different. Each one has a bio, but we have Captain's log.
We have the Science Officer's log.
And then we have Kirk's personal log. And so each one is a slightly different perspective. So when you put it together, you get a much fuller picture as to what the episode was about.
Yeah, the only thing we're missing here is McCoy and his log. Traitors! Assassins!
Assassins!
I wouldn't mind a figure of raving lunatic McCoy.
Oh my god, I would have loved that.
With pentapox on his face.
We don't call them pentapox. Wrong franchise.
Sorry.
But seriously, yeah, that would have been amazing. Could you imagine that one?
I also like how these have a phone number to prove your fanhood, if you will.
I did not even notice that.
You could join the official Star Trek fan club if you call 1-800-TRUE-FAN. Yeah.
Does it still work?
Probably not. I'm pretty sure that's an adult hotline.
Because it says, join the official Star Trek fan club.
I also like that you can visit the Star Trek Continuum on the World Wide Web.
What?
When's the last time you heard anybody say World Wide Web in a non-ironic fashion? Right here, that's when.
Yeah, right. I'm dying to call this number.
You want to call it on your phone?
Yes, or call this 1-800 true fan. Let's see what happens.
We are currently experiencing a temporary technical issue with our phone system. Please try calling again later.
What?
That was frightening.
Does it still work?
Is your phone cursed now?
Wait, what? Does this still work?
I
would like to try this one more time. F-A-N. Last time. Wish us luck.
We are currently experiencing a temporary technical issue with our phone system.
Okay.
Is he gonna kill us?
I don't think so, but he is a little creepy. I'm just gonna put this all away now and forget we ever looked at.
Let's never call Lon Sutter's personal number again.
Yeah. No, we're not here to call old fan hotline numbers. We're here to look at some figures. So, Commander Matthew, please beam the figures out.
Hi, Captain.
So here they are. They are certainly something.
Yeah, these are pretty unique, distinctive figures. You know, when we looked at a lot of the other Star Trek figures in the past, they have not quite been as shapely as this, I guess you could say.
I don't know if I'd say shapely, but I will say that there's a bit more life to these figures.
This reminds me a little bit more of how the very first series had the figures in kind of like those weird stances.
Yeah.
And we haven't really seen that. Even by this point, the figures were not... They kind of still were. It's an in-between phase almost. Yeah. Because, you know, like a lot of other figures at this point started to have thigh joints even, which we'll talk about. These don't have that. They're just posed in a pretty much a stance that you can't move them much out of.
No, not at all. Yeah, they have like a little bit of movement, but not much. Let's get started and let's talk about Kirk. His stance is just the funniest to me. It feels like such a Shatner pose. You know, he's in his, why? Oh no! Please, don't do, no! You know, it's like he's looking at her ready to die, and he can't catch her.
No.
He can't stop her, he's gotta let her go. So, that's kind of like the pose that I think this is it.
Whereas Spock just kind of looks like a little nebbishy going down to Skid Row to check out Audrey 2, maybe? I don't know, I don't, this is a weird pose for him. Like, what are his hands doing? His legs are in this kind of weird thing. I don't know. And I should add, he's on the base because he also won't stand up straight.
Yeah, and his feet are so tiny.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like that's what I mean. Like he just has tiny little feet. This does not really.
They're so delicate.
Yeah, like Kirk looks a lot beefier by comparison, and I don't get his arms, what his hands are doing even. It's a very strange way to pose these figures.
Yeah, I mean Edith is the most neutral, has the most neutral stance. That's because they didn't. What are they gonna do with her? You know,
yeah.
She's got her cloak on and her dress. And that's really all she's doing.
Really, the most action-packed pose would have been either her falling down the stairs or her being hit by a car.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Well, you know, yeah.
Edith Keeler, now with action feature.
Aw, dude, that's messed up.
Too soon?
Too soon.
Too soon.
A little too soon. Let's talk likeness, let's talk outfit. You know, what do you think?
Well, I think, you know, the heads are not recycles. I think these are actually newer heads, or at least heads we haven't seen on other figures before.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, because we looked at, you know, previously the bridge set, and those had way more detailed head sculpts. This is definitely a different head sculpt for all of them, because I guess had to fit in with the Warp Factor series. You know, likenesses are good, though. Likenesses are good.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the best, though. We saw better with that Bridge Crew set.
Oh, absolutely.
But they're good. They're a little bit more cartoony. I'll say that much for it. Like, they're a little bit less realistic. They're a little bit more on the stylized side.
Yeah. I don't really like the Edith Keeler one, to be honest. I don't feel like her likeness is... It's there, but then they put so much eyeliner on her, she looks like she's trying to be a part of some either 90s goth, you know, kid scene or the emo kid scene, you know, from the 2000s. And
something I never thought I'd hear with Edith Keeler.
I know, right? But look at that eyeliner. You know, they gave her raccoon eyes. What's up with that?
It's a nice head, but I don't really... Yeah, again, like, it's just not necessarily all the way there.
Yeah, they're close, but not quite. And since they clearly, you know, were putting effort into this, it makes me a little sad. I do want to talk about the outfits.
Yeah, these outfits are pretty nice.
These are really good. I really like what they did with Kirk. I mean, obviously you can't take it off, but his jacket has a little bit of movement, and you can see it, and what I really like is right by the stomach. You can see how the shirt is tucked in.
Yeah.
And that's a little detail that you don't really see a lot in figures.
We should Spock also, his jacket is also a separate piece, and you can also kind of open it a little bit. Yeah. Can't take it off, but you can kind of see it's, you know, there's more going on in there. That's...
Yeah, well, if you look at it, he looks as though he's tucked in, but he's nowhere near as tucked in as Kirk is.
Kirk's got a lot of shirt, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I just think that that's pretty funny.
And Edith is very plain.
Edith is just wearing her
cape.
She's just got her cape, but I do love her hat. Her hat has this beautiful texture to it. You know, you can actually tell that it's
yeah, it looks like what the material is that they used in the episode. Yeah,
it looks legit.
Yeah,
and you can't talk about hats without talking about Spock's hat.
I mean, I feel like we're now going to jump into accessories because we're looking at Spock's hat. I didn't realize this when I got it, but the hat actually comes off. I did not expect that.
I did.
I mean, this is a Playmates toy from like the mid-90s, so I don't think they'd add that extra detail, that extra step to give him the removable hat, because that's what he did in the episode, is to hide his ears. He wore the hat.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, when I saw the size of that hat, all I could think about was they have to be making it removable, because a lot of those figures then, to some degree now, but definitely back then, if you had something that large on a head, it was almost always, that's almost like a doll thing.
I guess so. I just wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great feature. I'm glad they did it.
Well, let's talk about accessories now.
Oof, the accessories are fun.
First things first, I want to talk about the bases. Let's put them all on our bases, in fact, because, as I mentioned, Spock won't stand up because his feet are so funny, so I had to give him his base. His base has got the science logo insignia on it, the science insignia right there.
And check out Kirk's.
And his command insignia. Mm-hmm. But Edith has a really unique and very awesome looking stand.
Oh my god, Edith has the best... Okay, so this doesn't work quite well.
Captain Kirk surfing.
But Edith has the best stand. This is how you know that they were going special with her.
Yeah, look at that. It's such a good looking stand.
It really is. It's a gorgeous stand.
It's very generic, but it looks great. Let's see, and she does actually still have a peg hole. She does have a peg hole. It's very tiny, but it's there.
Yeah.
But again, she's probably the one that stands up the best of everybody here on her own.
Well,
but
no,
surprisingly,
Kirk is...
That's true. Kirk's pretty solid when you get him in the right stance.
Yeah, it's just... Getting him on the stand is ridiculous.
Yeah, the stands were always kind of like funny like that. I mean, he's like basically just touching the edge of it. That's as far as he gets on it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look... I mean, once he's on it, that's all right. So the stands are really nice.
Yeah, I like the stands. Before we talk about the accessories themselves, Edith also came with this nice little collector's catalog. It just shows... Oh, Spock down! Spock down! So we got this lovely little catalog. It just shows you some of the stuff that's coming out, the different waves. Some of them you've already seen us review, some of them you haven't yet. On this side, you have some really cool Strike Force stuff. I'm excited about those. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you get to see some of the vehicles, the real action replicas. Those are good.
Well, let's talk now about what each figure came with.
Okay.
And they come with a lot of, again, pretty distinctive, unique accessories.
Yes, I'm gonna say Kirk's is probably the blandest. Because, it's Kirk. So he comes with a coffee mug.
Ah, yes, the old action-packed coffee mug.
Well, it's not just any action-packed coffee mug, because he also comes with a coffee pot.
So he can dish out coffee to the other vagrants in Edith's home for hobos.
Except he can't fit anything in this hand, so you can just kind of carry it.
Can you get it in the other hand?
Yeah, but then you have to remove the cup.
That's true.
So it's like, what's the point?
Can't even pour his own coffee.
Again, he's got to put it in badly. Oh, I'm holding it for him. But he also comes with...
Oh, he does have a phaser.
He comes with a phaser. And again, he can only fit it in one hand.
Yeah, because the other hand is in permanent karate chop pose for whatever reason. He's not like he's running around karate chopping anybody in that episode.
Oh, I can't even really get it in there.
Yeah, no, it doesn't... I mean, it looks like it might go in there,
but
but
it might fit, but you gotta squeeze it in a little bit. So basically,
he has like angle on the side, and now it's just completely useless.
No, it's not completely useless. When he wants to reheat his coffee.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, I mean, it looks really great. I like that they're using 2 different colors.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, but otherwise, it's not that exciting. Edith, her accessories are a little bit more, interesting. Starting with her coffee pot.
What? They can both make coffee together?
They can.
Wow.
Yeah,
She can't. There's no way she's gonna be able to hold that in her tiny hands.
Nope, she can just carry it like a little purse. Which is great.
That's how I like my coffee. Carry it like a purse.
You don't like coffee.
Exactly.
Yep. Well, what's she gonna do with that coffee? She's gonna put it in her little itty bitty black mug. That way she and Kirk will never confuse each other's mugs.
Thank goodness.
Yep, that's the exciting part of that. She also, because no outfit is complete, she comes with a nice little purse. Ooh, I'm gonna put it over here. I don't know who can see what with us.
Let's make her carry it.
No. A lady never does that. She looks good with her purse,
Yeah, that actually looks nice.
And finally, I really like this accessory, but at the same time, there's no way for her to use it.
No.
She comes with a typewriter.
There's no way for anybody to use that typewriter because no one has hands that can even touch that thing.
Yeah, it's just none of it makes sense, but it's such a cute little typewriter. The detail.
Nice typewriter, yeah, no.
It's beautiful detail.
I really like the typewriter. It's a very nice piece.
Yeah, I think we can both agree though that the character who has the best accessories and the most interesting accessories is Spock.
Yes, because Spock has a cup for coffee.
Awesome! Because it's all about the coffee. Oh no, he and Edith might get confused.
Oh no. Yep, he has a coffee cup as well. But no, he actually has some very, very good accessories. I think are probably the best of the bunch, as you said. Spock has a primitive computer, as well as the vacuum tubes he needs to operate it, which were both very important parts of the episode.
As in, how else were they going to get home without these?
Yeah. Problem is, they're kind of just, hanging out on the ground, but I've got a quick fix for that. I just happen to have over here from ECW. I'm going to have to move Edith Keeler for a minute.
Well, you know.
From ECW, I've got one of their awesome tables. If you guys like our pro wrestling reviews, well, crossover time. So check it out. Just put that there. We put that there. Put the coffee mug down.
You know what? Let's add some coffee.
Let's put all the stuff on the table.
Let's see what we can do.
It's a Depression era table, so that's why it's kind of cracking a bit. But there we go. No,
Oh, God.
Look how good this looks at the table, though. That's too much coffee, Spock.
Are you
Starbucks
sure?
hasn't been invented yet.
Well, that's why he needs the 2 pots of coffee.
Jeez, Spock.
Edith is just gonna hold on to her purse, and Kirk is just gonna, guard it with his phaser.
But with the table, seriously, it actually looks
It
really
looks
good,
really
yeah.
good. Except for, the big crack in the middle.
Well, can't afford much better in those days.
It's all good. It's all good.
Check some coffee, Captain.
I prefer tea.
So these are easily some of the most unique and different accessories in the line, with all of our many coffee cups here. But they look really good, and especially Spock's, like the paint job on all these is really great. There's multiple colors in each of these, and that's rare.
They definitely put a lot more effort into this. You can see that they wanted to have the continuity between all 3 characters. They really upped their game on here.
These are pretty much the only figures of City on the Edge of Forever. I think they made like Edith Keeler in doll form. I think all 3 of these are actually done in like larger scale doll type forms. From Playmates, but otherwise, this is really the only way to get these toys.
Yeah.
And they were clearly in high demand from fans, or else they wouldn't have done these.
I know, and it's just such a bizarre thing to me. I mean, I like the episode. I think it's a great episode. But at the same time, this isn't exactly what I would have expected. Or necessarily wanted in my figures, but now that I see it, I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah, I think it actually is really, really good. It's pretty great. It's a great homage. No one ever did this homage again either. It was just only here Playmates.
Which is fantastic.
It's a good looking trio of figures that, I actually want. I'm surprised to say I actually wanted these, but when I first saw them, I was like, wow. And now seeing them at a package, I'm still actually pretty wowed by them, despite them having those weird stances and the weird arm poses, which I think is still not good decisions, but as a group, it looks good.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with you on that. I'd also say, given how old they are, they're in great condition for the most part. We didn't really talk about articulation in terms of we didn't really move them.
Yeah, because unfortunately they are limited in what they can do, which is very little.
Yeah, but at the same time, they look pretty good. I mean, Spock has his little bit of blush, a little bit of eyeshadow. Kirk's face is just super smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just some smoothness, with the exception of his weird eyebrow sculpt. Edith, oh, poor Edith. She still looks great, minus the emo eyes, but I will say that of the 3 figures, she is the schmutziest. Unless that was a deliberate choice and they were like, oh yeah, this is Edith before and this is Edith after.
Ouch. Now it's too soon.
What? I'm just saying, they made it accurate to the episode. Yeah. I think they look really good. Not just, you got the weird stances, you got the weird everything, but they put so much effort into this line.
They're very, very good toys. I like these a lot. Again, they're not the most action-packed, but it's a great set to have of these figures from this one particular episode that is, deserves something to remember by. And there's other merch for this. It's like probably ornaments, I bet, or something. But I want toys. I want action figures. So this is pretty cool to have this bunch.
I still agree with Bill and wish we'd had a McCoy. That would have added a little more action.
Traitors! Assassins!
Assassins! Traitors! Traitors!
Exactly. So that's our look at the City on the Edge of Forever figures from Playmates from 2 different Warp Factor series, Warp Factor 3 and 5.
I think we both agree. Well worth buying if,
Totally worth hunting down.
Yeah, if this is your jam, well worth getting.
Yes. It's a great way to commemorate a historic and awesome episode of the original series.
Yes. So until next time, I'm Captain Andrea.
I'm Commander Matthew, and live long and buy toys.